Okay, friends, here's our last video for the course. The idea here is to look at one more example of this idea of mathematical expectation or averaging, weighted averaging. And what's kind of fun is I was trying to think, what's the last one we should chat about? And one of your classmates and I had a discussion while we were on a Zoom meeting because they were clearing out their inbox of junk mail. And we started chatting about why junk mail exists. And there's an easy answer. Junk mail exists because they're trying to sell you something. But there's something hidden in that question. They're only trying to sell you something if they can prove that it works. So that kind of set me on a wild goose chase. So I went to my own inbox first, a couple inboxes actually. The first one I went to, this is my inbox for your YouTube channel that you're watching right now. And I pretty much ignore this. And as a matter of fact, the only reason I jumped into it now was to look for the spam folder, which is right here. Okay, and it was it's empty. It was one from Krista, whoever Krista is. Interesting, it says, spams that are older than 30 days will be automatically deleted. So I've had this YouTube channel for a decade, so I have no idea how many spam emails have actually come and gone through this. So I decided to stop looking at that, and I said, oh, wait a minute, I have an email through work as well. And although my email at work doesn't have a spam folder, it's got a junk email folder. So, but this one here, junk email, 643 unread messages, and I started kind of scrolling down. And since this is an election year, 2020, I've got a lot from Newt Bueller. Looks like I've got one from his wife that just scrolled by. Jennifer, I don't know who Jennifer is. Urgent Team Newt, Rob, Jennifer. I mean, I got tons of emails going back to 2017. Some of these are from places like this one right here, McGraw-Hill Education. That's actually a textbook company that my school uses. So I can see how a spammer might want to use an email like that actually does indeed entice me maybe to click on it. But I've also trained myself, don't click on stuff like this. Some of this might actually be legit. I don't know who John Graham is. Let's look at, unable to show full message. And you notice up here, they've spammed a number of people, 3 of whom, me, Teresa, and Michelle, all work at COCC. So you click on that, something terrible most likely will happen. Select all these emails, and I'm going to delete them while we're sitting here. Let's delete them all, and let's chat. I don't click on spams. I won't click on these links. I'm not even going to open that email, as a matter of fact. I'm going to delete it while we're sitting here. But somebody must, because if nobody ever clicked on spam emails, they wouldn't bother sending them. So I decided to do a little bit of digging as I kind of was thinking about this, chatting through the idea with my student. And it's a little bit kind of mind-bendy. Just one of the results I saw was Tech Radar. Hilariously enough, when I opened this page the first time, they tried to get me to let me join their email list. Spam gets 1 response per 12.5 million emails. Okay, new study details how junk mailers still make money. I couldn't source that one, so I'll let that one go. The shocking truth about how many emails are sent, because that last one, even if the 12.5 million were true, that only tells us how many per capita are clicked on. But it doesn't tell us if they click on a spam email, do they also click through and buy something, or do they click through and are charged something? So this one is kind of an interesting way to get lost. Marketing emails. I was able to distill it down to pretty much some, at least mostly believable figures. Let's look at those. So I broke it down to just America. America, according to some of these links that I saw, is one of the worst countries for spam email. About $8 billion are earned annually by spammers. Now that's probably lower than it should be, but it's the lowest figure I could find, but it's enough of a figure to get the point across. America has about 150 million email users, about half the population. 12%, roughly 1 in 8 or 18.5 million, knowingly will click through spam messages. So 18.5 million, if you take that 8 billion and spread it over the 18.5 million, that's about $430 per link click through. So that's a payout for a spammer. That's a payout. We're going to add that over here. The spam payout, if they click through is about 430 bucks. What if they don't? If they don't. Okay. Well, if they don't, I think it's arguable that there's no payout. I mean, technically speaking, there probably should be some kind of a negative payout if they don't, right? Because this is hitting the jackpot. Hitting the jackpot when you get somebody to click through. So there should be a negative payout like there was with insurance. But here's the deal. How much does it cost to send an email? It really doesn't cost all that much. I mean, we send emails back and forth all the time for free. So let's look back at the figures again. The same group that told me about the 12% click-through said that 90 trillion emails are sent every year, which is mind-boggling. Symantec, which is one of the companies that runs internet security, says that about 90% of all email is spam. So if you look at America accounting for about 12% of all internet usage, there's about 10 trillion spams in America every year. So I think we can use this 10 trillion total spam sent and this 18.5 million click-throughs to roughly approximate the probability of earning that 430 bucks. So over here in our little distribution, we can take that 18.5 million, 500,000, 500 million, and divide it by 10 trillion. I gotta keep track of this one now. 10,000 million, billion, trillion. It's a very small probability. And it's a very large probability that they won't. It's going to be 100% minus that. So that's a 99.99982% chance. So what is the average payout per spam? Well, we just need to do the average of this distribution. You're left with this. Now you look at that number and you say to yourself, well, that's not much. And it's not that it's not much. That's not what's important, that it's not much. What's important is that it's positive. This means that on average, per spam sent, a spammer makes a small fraction of a penny per every spam sent. For those of you who have seen the movie Office Space, this is literally one of the cornerstone moments of that movie, when you realize how much money you can make when your average is positive. If this average is positive, then it doesn't make sense not to send spam emails. So all you got to do is send more spams. But you see, this is why your inbox gets hit with spam. Because they work. They work. They work slowly. But with digital communication and technology, what it is, you can send millions, if not billions, if not trillions of spams per month. And every time you send another spam, you earn yourself another fraction of a penny. And that will add up over time. So I want to thank that student for giving me this idea to chat about. I hope you found it as entertaining, as interesting as I did. And that, my friends, I think is Math 105. I think we'll call it there. I hope you've learned a ton from this course. I learned a ton by chatting with you all. Be well, and we'll talk soon.